So this, good readers, is my Yes Basic Decade. And it's not yours, it's mine. I'm keeping it for as long as it stays relevant, and then I might just keep it after that. I've been writing Yes for 10 years now, reviewing them. I remember when they came out with their first, basically, it's not even like this basic, but they basically had a couple different sizes. The 56 was ASIM, which became the Greats, every size kind of morphed into something else, but they were all just slightly different, and it was very weird. The construction wasn't that great, but they rode so well, it was hard not to recommend them. They've evolved over the years. They've gone from the Tunisia facility in Nidecker over to GST, then GST shut down, then they went over to SWS, and that's where they've been making boards the last few years. And this is their kind of like 10th anniversary. I hope there's an 11th and 12th anniversary version of this, because this is the poppiest Yes I've tried. It's pretty light too. It's not like the super light board, but this is a 58. I rode the 55 at the demos and loved it and almost got that, but I was just really curious about going, with the 58 and just giving that a go. And seeing, just having that quiver of one. This is true all mountain. And you can see there's a bunch of cool things going on with it. Unlike the picture, they took a picture and it doesn't have these setback inserts, so it kind of makes you wonder, are they there in production? Are they not there? What's going on? They're here. So just maybe some sloppy picture work, but I've been there. That happens. It's very easy to do that. So you've got these setback inserts, and then you've got 5 normal, and then the 6th is setback. So that's great for powder days. Then everything else about this board, from what I understand, is a true twin. So it's like a Yes Basic on steroids. It's got like some kind of like carbon fiber-esque top sheet. And you can see it's got kind of a mellow camber. It's even more mellow than my Yes Greats, and my Pick Your Line. But for some reason, this thing just pops. And I think it's just all this like carbon in the top sheet or whatever they're doing. It's just such a poppy, dynamic, quick turning, fun board. And that 55 was so easy and so small and so fun. I almost thought of getting it, like to have a pipe board, but then I thought, gosh, I'd love to. It is a little bit on the chattery side compared to the other Yes boards. That's the trade-off. So I thought maybe I'd go a little bigger, like I had with my Typo, and get a little more float, get a little more speed, and just kind of have this be like the one board you bring with you on a trip. So let's get into the base. It's just kind of, whatever. I'm not a fan of the base personally, but, I'm splitting hairs here. I just, all this die cut is kind of annoying. If you gash this base, it's going to be very hard to repair. I'd love it to be all black with just a little Yes in the nose and a Yes in the tail to kind of match this like amazing, just black beauty-esque, it's kind of like gray and black. Just like the front here, very dark gray on the top though. It's definitely it's probably the closest I've seen to Yes's like Flex. It usually runs a little bit soft. This is a little softer than they say, but it's stiffer than most of the Yes boards in the line. You can also see that, the underbite was kind of like their first take on plays and side cut, and it's an indention instead of an extension like Magna Traction is. So you've got like just the side cut kind of goes like this and then goes in here, then comes back out, regular side cut, then in here and comes back out. So it makes for quicker turn initiation, but it also makes for a really good bite in snow, and it's almost there with Magna Traction. It just doesn't grab as much in softer snow. So I would say it's a better all conditions ride all around. And this technology with the N inside here just made this so poppy. Now let's get to setback on board. Kind of doing it a new way. I used to just measure the difference between, you know, length from the nose to the tail, or to the back part of the binding, and, you know, the tail to the back part of the binding on the back foot. But we're going to do it just a little bit differently this time to give like the true thing. So we're looking at 22 here. By the way, it's 22 and a half all the way back, which is pretty good for a lot of people, especially at a 58. I'm kind of been going a little narrower these days due to, you know, getting old, hips hurting, joints, what have you. But 22 there, and boy, what is this? Is this 17 and a quarter? So you're looking at 2.75, so 4.75 back, you know, 4.75 difference. And so like true back on board is 2.375. So kind of almost like 2.4 inches back on board from center. And that's a lot. So, you know, I used to say 4.5, 4.75, something like that. But, you know, that's the truth. It's just like that much further back. And so you get a lot of directional float. And that's what makes this board so much fun, because you can center this up and have like an mountain freestyle, aggressive mountain freestyle ride, or set it back and start to dabble with that kind of like more set back, more directional, like free ridey feel. It's not tapered and it's not super surfy, but it's definitely going to provide a lot of great float. And it's great to see that here. I'd love to see the same kind of like, you know, setback insert on the Typo too. I think that would make it an incredible board as well, especially at that price point, and make it way more diverse. As it stands now, the Typo only has like, I think like 1 inch back on board, or 2 between, you know, the difference between the nose and the tail. But anyways, there you have it. The Yes Basic Decade, if you can get a hold of this, get one. I straight up bought this list because I just need to have one. Yes didn't have one available for promotion or pro form or anything, so I just bought it because I wanted one in my line. I'm probably going to keep it forever. There you have it.